welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, one and all, to a brand new edition of The Quinn Spinn. I'm your host, The Quinn. At least that's how I'm known here on the program, and at this point, really nowhere else. And I'm back here on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and more for another rousing and riveting installment of the official podcast of Underground Music Collective. I almost fumbled the intro there, but we're going to keep it. We're going to keep it. Anything can happen live, and we record live to tape. Anyway, you just heard Revel 9's All I've Become at the top of the show. That's been our opening theme song here at the Quinn Spinn since the great year of 2014, and it will be until the very end of days. And we have some returning guests to the show. It's been a while. I think 2022 was the last time we did this. But for those of you who don't know, Bronnie and Mason Levi joining us on their latest trip to Nashville. Of course, Bronnie being from the UK, Mason Levi being a little closer to our home from Pennsylvania, where we were Lehigh Valley Underground once upon a time. Be heading back there in a couple weeks for Music Fest, actually. So very excited about that. But thanks for coming through and thinking to stop through here again.
Yeah, dude, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Last time was great.
Yeah.
Oh, so much fun. We knew we had to hit you up and make sure we got back on the show, man.
And a lot has happened in the past 3 years, right? On all of our creative journeys. So I'm sure we're going to get into that. But before we do, I want to give you each the chance to revisit the three standard questions. Of course, those questions are, who are you? What are your passions, and why on earth would you want to come back on the Quinn Spinn?
Yeah, so I'm Bronnie. My passion is music. I love songwriting. I love telling stories. If there's any day of the week I can see live music, I'm there. So I just thought, hey, I'll do this forever then. And we want to come back on the Quinn Spinn because we had the greatest time with you last time. We had great chats. And just ultimate vibes,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm Mason Levi. My passion is obviously music as well. I love anything from live music, but I've also gotten into talent buying and booking and things like that since I was last on the show. So I've really started to grow my heart in that place. And, like Bronnie said, it was just such a fun time last time we were on the show. I think it's just a good chance to catch back up with you, my friend.
Absolutely. Well, again, appreciate you coming on through. And so you've had quite an eventful trip to Nashville this time around, much more immersive. You've been doing a lot of writing here in town and meeting a lot of people. So how has Music City been treating you?
It's been great. So, we've been here a couple of times, as kind of tourists and I guess doing the old podcast and all that. But it's our first time here working, getting into songwriting sessions. And we just had a session with Blue Foley and that was awesome.
Yeah, it was so much fun. It's a completely different vibe and feel from the last time we were here, Even in my old band, I just traveled through the city. I never really stopped for any elongated period of time, but meeting people here has been nothing but fantastic. Everyone is so nice, so welcoming. It has a different vibe in this city than any city I've been in around the world, really.
Oh, 100%. Everyone just wants to help you out. We've made friends for life already, and it's great. And we've got songwriting sessions with Jeff Cohen, Bo Fuller as well this week. It's just music 24/7. I'm loving it.
Yeah. And that's the thing you'll notice about Nashville too, is it's a very pay it forward kind of culture. Cause we were all the new person once. Like when I first moved here, this is the end of 2018. We're going on 7 years already here in town. I remember there were people who brought me along, I remember contacts that I had made, publicists and other people in the industry, friends that I already had here, showed me the way and showed me kind of where to go, what to do, who to meet, and really instilled that sense of pay it forward. So now being here for a while, now I can be that person, because you go to a new place, whether you're visiting, whether you move there, and it's you don't know anybody, you got questions, you don't know where anything is, or where to meet people. So it's always good to have those people, kind of guide you as you come into town.
Oh, totally. Sure. Yeah. We felt that for sure.
Oh, yeah. And it's different in this city than, like I said, most other cities. It's really is a pay it forward culture here. I love that about it. There's no sense of competition like I think there is in some other places. So it's really nice to see, man. Yeah,
it's collaborative. It's musical.
Yeah,
for sure. So in the past 3 years, y'all have done a lot of different things. You, of course, Bronnie, have gone to the country route and done kind of a rebrand in a sense. And then Mason, you mentioned, of course, that you've gotten into talent buying, things on the booking end, like further immersed in the industry. So let's go on that journey together, you know, from the last time we did this to now. What are some of the experiences that you've had that have informed your path?
Yeah, so, well, I started writing country songs. This was like 2014. And in the UK, like back then, like country wasn't big. I loved it. There was no one I could play shows with, no one that kind of shared the same passion, but loads of my friends were doing pop punk and they were like, hey, your voice would suit that. Got into it. Love pop punk, you know, it's one of my favorite genres.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was so much fun. We got to play all around the world with bands like Neck Deep, you know, Don Broco. You know, got a #1 song in the rock charts with Scream. It was great. But I think there comes a time where for me, it's kind of like I need to stop writing songs about high school. I'm like 27 now.
Fair.
And during lockdown, my love of country just, you know, ignited again. And so it's kind of been the plan since lockdown. And I never wanted anyone to think, oh, she's just hopping on the bandwagon because country's big again. I'm like, no, like so many songs were written like 5 years ago now that have finally been released. And it just feels really natural. Yeah.
Your journey into country does feel super natural for me. I just knowing you as well as I do, it's been cool to you and I have had private conversations about the plan of, you know, writing a country album and everything for a very long time. It's really fun to see it come to fruition at this point. And tell you what, we're writing some really good music right now. So I'm excited about it.
Good.
Yeah.
But it came at the perfect time because Mason, obviously you were in your pop punk band and then you went solo doing pop punk and kind of at the same time we were just having conversations like, no way, we're both going to be like doing country and, you know, country rock and all that. So it's kind of the perfect time for both of us. Yeah.
It is. Yeah. The timing's great. And then I guess my journey with getting into the talent buying and stuff. So probably shortly after we were last on the show, Bronnie had gone back to the UK. I went for one more tour, probably maybe 2 more tours, but I'm only over there about 6 months a year at max. And then I'll just kind of come back and do my solo music and play shows and stuff. But I actually started managing a music venue as well. So I started. It was a new venture for the owner. He wasn't really familiar with how to book a band or anything, and he knew I had traveled and toured and had experience, so he asked me to come on the team. And that's been really, really fun to get into that. It's a 1,200 cap venue, so we've brought in some really, really incredible shows at this point. So that's been really fun. I love being on that side of it as well. And not only have I enjoyed it, but I've learned a lot from it as well. And I think I respect venues more, but I also respect artists more now because I've been on both sides of the wagon, you know. It's been cool. So that's a great venture, but you know, I'm really diving headfirst back into solo music now. Like Bronnie said, we're writing a lot of original country music. So I'm very, very excited about that.
Yeah. And to dive into the artistry a little deeper, so when you go from pop punk to country and you make that pivot, you know, of course, we all know that branding's important and like that connection with the audience. And so I feel like with a pivot like that, like you do have to warm them up to it in a sense and ease them into it and make it feel natural for them. So it's not such a hard left turn. I mean, here at UMC, we've made hard left turns before and the hard left turn doesn't always work out. So like, how did you balance the new direction for your artistry with that sense of like keeping in touch and keeping in connection with your fans?
So, I mean, for years, my fans have always known that I love country music. So, you know, sometimes like if I'm not on tour, I'll hop onto TikTok Live and we'll just play a load of songs. And it works out that a load of pop punk fans love country. There's a massive crossover in the UK. So, you know, I was looking at all my fans, you know, when they tag you in their stories for the Spotify Wrapped of who they've been listening to. It was me. And then, you know, Lainey Wilson, Morgan Wallen, like all these country artists. And they were like, oh, you're the only reason why we're listening to pop punk, because we all love country. So I was like, okay, this is a great transition.
That's a good sign.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
That's like affirming, reaffirming. Yeah.
And I'm still keeping it. It's country, but with rock influence. So all the fans will still be able to love it. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But it's just been so natural. And then last year I released my debut album, Jaded. And that was, a pop punk album, and it was great. So for the deluxe, we started to kind of countrify the odd pop punk song, and they all loved it. And then I released Own Girl, Own World. That was the first single from album 2, full country rock. And it was great. It was number 3 in the country charts in the UK. Tried in other, various countries. So the response so far has been amazing.
Yeah.
So I was nervous, especially changing, but
Yeah. And I feel like we're in such a genre fluid world too. Like you can mix elements of one into the other. There was a band I just found out about, who I actually just found out was playing in town the other night, Lakeview.
Love
like
Lakeview.
Country. I think I saw it on your story actually.
Yeah, we were at that show.
Yeah, it was funny because so full disclosure, I'm moonlighting as a Lyft driver right now because somebody's got to pay for me to go to all these conferences, and that person is me. And I drove a guy who had just come from that show, and he told me about them. I didn't know about them, and so we put a song on. I'm like,
listen.
And it starts country, and then it's like, okay, there's the metal in the first chorus, and it's like, but they made it work, and it's so seamless. And I think like that's what you find when you get around really good songwriters is like the fundamentals of what makes a good song are intact, whether, regardless of the genre, right? And it's all in how you blend and make that those seamless transitions and put elements from one into the other.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, definitely. And I think for myself, it's been pretty easy because I mean, obviously I was in the pop punk band for, what was it, Bron? 8 years?
Yeah,
probably.
A long time.
But I'm a Pennsylvania boy from a freaking 5,000 person town. So I've always been pretty country by heart. And I always kind of felt in pop punk, I was the outsider. And I feel so much more comfortable in the country world. Most of my friends that I continued talking to after the band had kind of stopped touring, we're from Nashville and we're in country. So it's like, I just get along with these type of people. I understand it. I love it, so it's nice, man. And yeah, I'm enjoying it.
What are some of the most important lessons you've both learned over the past few years as you've gone on the journey, as you've experimented and taken these dives into, different genres, different avenues? What are some of the most important lessons from the journey that you would go back, say, those 3 years or even before and teach your younger selves?
I think both of us can agree that, we've played so many shows around the world. The main thing, obviously, be rehearsed and be good, but like be a nice person. It doesn't cost anything to be nice. And because we'll always remember the people who brought us out on the road in the early days, even, we're staying with Tug. He's great. So he is Casey John's her audio engineer. And we literally met last month in a random town playing a show in England, and we just hit it off instantly, and he invited us around to his place in Nashville to stay here for 2 weeks. And we will never forget, his generosity. So it is all about paying it forward and all that. It's just little things that people will remember you by. And I think just being a good person really, really helps you.
Yeah, that's really good. And then the other thing, and we were talking about this yesterday, it's like, don't be afraid to swing and miss. You just kind of have to do things. And I wish my younger self would have done that more. But when you set too high of expectation, you just set yourself up for disappointment. It's like not everything has to work. You just kind of have to go for it. And I think that's really what this new journey is about too. We're really exploring some new stuff and doing it more for ourselves as well. I think that's my best advice. And if you're a younger new artist, like you don't need to write a #1 hit song every time. Like just do it.
And it's kind of like doing it for our younger selves, because we were both quite shy growing up in high school. Like we didn't meet in high school, but I've heard stories from your parents, and I was so shy to speak to anyone, and there was no way I would have been able to do anything like this, like go to Nashville and all that, without everyone else, you know, cheering us on and being our biggest cheerleaders. So any opportunity, I'm like, I'm doing this for my teenage self who would be so shy to do it. And, you know, it feels great. Yeah.
And I think too, like, as you adapt that mentality of swinging and missing, you have appreciation for all the swings and misses you've taken. And they happen. They're a part of the journey, especially earlier in the journey. Like, you're going to swing and miss more than you're going to make contact. And there are more things that don't work out, I think, along the creative journey than those who do. We don't see most of the ones that don't, right? Because we're experimenting, we're trying things out, and it's like, all right, that didn't work. Let's take the lesson from that and let's, you know, apply it to this and, you know, toward building a better boat. And I think that makes it so when you do hit on something, like, it's a bigger hit. Right. And it's more impactful and you can stand more confidently behind it because you got there through the hard-earned lessons of everything that didn't work. Right. And that informs the journey forward. And, you know, I think I said this on the live the other night, too, that I did Office Hours with G every Tuesday. Tune in on our YouTube channel where, you know, once you get comfortable with that idea of like, OK, not everything's going to work out, like you accept, you know, quote unquote failure as feedback. As opposed to like, oh no, this didn't work. What am I going to do? You don't place all your expectations in this one thing, all your eggs in this one basket. And if it doesn't work, there's no, you know, I don't want to say plan B, but there's no like other pivot you can make. There's always like, okay, we're going to try this and then we're going to see what works about it. We're going to do more of what works. We're going to do less of what doesn't work. And you just you test, you measure and adjust everything. To go back to the baseball analogies, everything's an at bat. Sometimes you're going to strike out. Sometimes you're going to hit a home run. Anything in between can happen in this wacky game of baseball and artistpreneurship. And the key is just staying in the game.
It's
and
the
using
truth.
it to get better.
It is so the truth, you know, man. It's crazy to think her and I have now been doing this for going on 10 years, which is just mind-boggling to me. But yeah, it's the journey, man. And it's the journey I can't seem to ever get out of. It pulls me back in every time.
Oh yeah. We all have those points too where it's like, okay, does this still make sense to keep going? And like, you just really have to draw on why you started and why it's important to you and the impact that you want to have.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, like, it's not the promise of fame or fortune or accolades or whatever far off point in the future that when you're really struggling with that doubt, like, that's not what's going to push you through to the other side of it. What's going to push you through is the purpose behind it.
Yep.
You got to remember why you started.
So that's my next question is, what have you uncovered individually about your purpose in the process of the past few years?
Ooh.
I think mine has changed multiple times over the entire journey. At first, like when I had first started my band, I mean, I was a kid. I wanted to fulfill the dream of being on a stage. Excuse me. God. Going through puberty, being on a stage, you know, in front of people and have someone sing a song back that I wrote, you know, and that felt like the catalyst for it for the beginning. And then it became, you know, helping people with their journey. And when the band started to have a fan base and there were people listening and getting to hear their stories, it was very much about, you know, the fans and everything. And now, as much as it still is about the people that listen and everything, I think my journey now is to like do this for myself, you know, and really show the world like where my passion is. And that's been cool. I think for the first time, I'm really, really stepping into that.
And I think too, like to lean into that and to lean in like to why you're doing it and what you get out of it. It allows you to come from a more genuine place.
I think so too,
and a more fulfilled place. Like, it's the whole cliche of you can't pour from an empty cup, right? If your cup's full, then you can impact more of the people who are picking up what you're putting down. Right. More of the people who resonate with you on a values level, not just I like this song, I like this piece of content, but like I like this person. And like that comes, I think, with having a really good understanding of who you are and why you're doing this in the first place, because then it gives you a compass. You can serve from a more authentic place.
Yeah, 100%. And you know, it's funny. Once I started like kind of teasing, we were coming to Nashville and showing being back home, I've reconnected with a lot of my hometown friends, a lot of the families around, and the support there is unbelievable. And they are so proud that I'm doing something for me now, it's been very cool.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nice feeling.
It's so cool because sometimes I go to Titusville where Mason lives and it's just a big family. Like everyone in the town supports and loves everyone. It's kind of like if anyone wants to be a musician, like just go to Nashville, go to Titusville first. They'll hype you up. Ready to go to Nashville. It's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, going from what Mason was saying, I'm kind of the same. And I think doing it for me, you have to remember like why you chose music in the first place. I've always had that love for just being on stage, just getting that massive adrenaline rush, singing your lyrics and hearing fans, sing your lyrics back to you. It's just the greatest feeling in the whole entire world. And, I make sure I meet every single fan after every gig I play at the end. And I love hearing their stories because, you forget like, we've got our own personal lives and our own stuff going on, but these people have been through so much, and all it takes is just one conversation, and that connection with the fans to me is so important. And I take a lot of inspiration from that, with songwriting, hearing people's journeys and stories. I know Mason does as well. But yeah, and I think we can both agree there's no better feeling than when you're in a writing session and you hit that hook or like you get the lyric and that adrenaline rush you get from it. It's just totally like chasing that, your whole career, and you get the same adrenaline rushes on stage when you play a really good show, when you meet friends for life, even though you've just met them like yesterday. I just love being involved with music behind or in front of everyone,
You're a lifer, Bron. You never get out of it.
And I think in the interactions you get to have, the people you meet, all these experiences, what it does is it gives you a sense of how much bigger all of this is than any one individual too, right? Because we all have things going on in our personal lives, as you said, and sometimes I think we can all get in our own heads on those things, and like the world can feel very small and very claustrophobic in that sense, like whatever you're dealing with in life, like if that becomes like the thing you have tunnel vision on, like it's hard to see the bigger picture. And so like all this traveling, the meeting people, the getting to play shows, the getting to do interviews, like you pick up something along the way from every single experience and interaction, every place you get to go to. And I've found that too, just being on the conference circuit over the past year, realizing how many of us are having similar conversations as far as like, how do we make the industry more fair and equitable for the creative? Oh, you're having this conversation in Canada and New Orleans and London and Nashville and Bethlehem and all these places, Austin, of course. And it's like, why don't we have these conversations together? And I think it does take like going to these places and understanding the similarities that we're all sharing and talking about and experiencing, but also what's different, in terms of the nuances of like from, region to region, country to country, even like, hey, this is a unique Nashville challenge. How have you dealt with something similar in Austin or wherever, and sharing that information. And so what have you learned from just experiencing different people about the overall creative landscape, and how has that informed your approach?
It's kind of funny. I actually just said this to Bronnie yesterday. We had our first like really big Nashville write Monday. And the first thing I said when we got out of the session, I was like, wow, that taught me so much about how you approach a song even, but coming down here specifically, you meet so many of honestly the nuttiest people I've ever met in my life, which is like incredible. I literally love every single person I've met, and seeing their approach to being a full-time songwriter or full-time like tour manager or sound tech or whatever. And that's been very cool to see other people. there's nowhere else you can go on the planet that there's this many musicians in one town.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like meeting all that, seeing all those people, seeing how they interact with each other on a day-to-day basis, and spending multiple weeks here now has really been cool. But then you also go, like, I've had the experience of going to London and Liverpool and all over the UK, where for the first time when I did that, I was like, wow, they run venues differently, or they tour differently, or things like that. So it's like, I think it's all about, you know, taking something from each person you meet and trying to learn from it.
Yeah. Oh, you worded that perfectly. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and everybody has something to teach and everybody has something to learn. You know, and I think, you know, especially coming to an environment like this, like, it's important to have that, like, beginner's mindset, even if you're not a beginner, right? Like, I remember when I first came to town, like, I kind of stayed quiet for the first couple months. I would go to, like, Balanced Breakfast and other networking things and be like, I'm just going to sit here and I'm just going to listen.
Yeah.
Because by listening, I'm going to learn how this industry actually functions. I'm going to learn the challenges and the mindset, because I'm coming from Bethlehem, you know, Pennsylvania, where there's a great scene, and, you know, there's some industry, but it's not like, you know, the music industry is centered in Nashville, you know, so it's like you're going to learn about things as they're happening, where they're originating from, right? And so I think it's really important to just, like, listen to and learn from the people around you, regardless of whether they're a songwriter or whether they're in the business, you know, and even regardless of how long they've been in it, because some people might be coming into the industry, you know, in the first year or two, but they might have a fresh perspective on things like marketing and content that maybe people who have been in the industry for 30 years don't have, right? So we've all got something to teach and something to learn, for sure.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So let's talk about the future, both short and long term. What's coming up? Starting with today, release day, y'all are going to be playing over at the local, correct?
Yeah, the Music Row Freak Show, my
We're
friend.
so excited. Our good friend Blue Foley, who we've been writing with, he hooked us up, and it's my first time ever playing in Nashville, and it's my first ever writers round as well, and your first ever writers round.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a special moment.
I'm very nervous.
We're gonna be rehearsing hard all of tonight, but we're just, because we've been to loads of writers rounds now and just going around town, and we're like, we're gonna be up there on stage. It's great.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great experience. I'm so excited.
100%. I'm gonna make sure that I'm not in my own head, because I can get super nervous, you know, if I haven't done something for the first time, it's the fear of the unknown. I'll get in my own head, I'll overthink, I'll get nervous. But then when we go to all these writing sessions, we just want to listen to the music. It's not judgy. It's not, you know, if you, I don't know, something goes wrong, you know, the audience are going to boo you. So I need to go like, okay, it's going to be chill. But we're so excited for it.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I'm so excited. Yeah, so that's Friday. You know, we're writing a lot right now. So Bronnie's got album 2 coming up.
Album
I'm very
2.
excited about.
Yeah, it's going really well. So the first single, Own Girl, Own World, came out 2 months ago. And then I just released a song called Next Shift. And, you know, the response has been amazing. Me and Mason might be releasing a cheeky collab soon.
Yeah, that's...
Stay tuned.
That's a teaser.
Yep. And...
It's so good.
Chef's
we were
kiss.
literally like,
You gave us the chef's kiss.
Dude,
Yeah.
we were listening
So
to the
good.
demo in the car on the way back, just like, woohoo! We sent it to both of our parents, and we were both on the phone some at different times yesterday, and they were like, we haven't stopped playing it. It's great. So
really
we're stoked
exciting.
about that. But yeah, then I'm going home. Got a load of festivals to play in the UK, and then we're coming back in like a month. Yeah, end of
wow.
August. Yeah.
Oh, that jet
August.
lag's going to be real. Oh. I got to experience that for the first time in June. Oh, it took me days.
Yeah,
Days.
honestly.
Yeah.
It's
you
a
definitely
sucker.
learn there's the whole land at night in the UK, then you can go to sleep. Do not land in the morning because you got to stay up all day.
Yep. I learned that the hard way.
Yep.
Because the trip came together so quickly, I got really creative. I went through skip lag to book, which if you don't know skip lag, it's a series of one-way flights. It gets you there for hundreds of dollars less, But you got some pretty gnarly layovers. So I spent the day in Boston, flew to Iceland overnight, got there like 4 a.m. By the way, a country called Iceland, just south of the Arctic Circle. I didn't think it would be cold. I didn't bring a jacket. So I'm standing out there on
In
the
ice.
Iceland.
Did you get to go to Reykjavik, or were you
just
stuck
at the
in
airport? Yeah. It was only a 2-hour layover, but
okay.
I did get to stand on the tarmac while the wind was whipping off the ocean over the frozen tundra. And that was cold. It was like December and June. And then, you fly to London, and then it's like, well, I'm not going to sleep because I flew all the way here for this conference and I'm going to go make the most of it. I didn't last till like 8 p.m. that first night. I'm like, I need to go back and sleep. Slept for like 11 hours, maybe more. And then the rest of the trip was great. And then on the way back, I had a layover in Norway, which was really cool because I took a train from one airport to the other. It was a beautiful day. You're flying in over the fjords, amazing views. And then I think there's a video actually on the Instagram channel too, for the Quinn Spinn, if you want to go look at it. And then I had to go from Oslo to New York and then fly back here.
Oh, New York, sir.
JFK. Honestly, JFK was the least of my problems. It was navigating Penn Station among all the drunk 21-year-olds on a Saturday night to get to Newark after that. That was the challenge. While I've already been awake for I don't even know how long. And then just waiting in Newark to fly back here and sleep all day Sunday. And then the jet lag from that, like 2-3 days, I was just like, by the time the sun went down, I'm like, I got nothing left today. I gotta go to bed. So it was worse
true.
on the way back than the way there. But I think also you're in that environment, you're getting to know the city, you're going to all these networking things and shows and whatever.
It's a lot of energy, isn't it?
And you're not sleeping more than 5 hours a night. So, and you're maybe drinking a little more than you usually do. So it all adds up.
It does.
Yeah, dude, I flew in like 2 weeks ago. Mason picked me up in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, and we literally took me straight out. It was like 9 o'clock, and I was like, do you know what? I might get some sleep. 9 p.m. It's not too bad.
No, you
he was
can't
like,
let
no,
you
we're
sleep.
going to party, Bronnie. So we went to like a barbecue. The day after is 4th of July. That whole weekend, it was like a meet and greet, meeting everyone, like the whole of Titusville. I probably haven't slept till then.
Yeah.
But since then.
And here every day we've had 17-hour days.
Yeah.
Drank about 700 beers in 2 weeks,
Yep.
So
It's been full on, but it's been so much fun.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, you
great.
just get into the mode of like, I'm traveling, I'm experiencing, like, I'm out here, like, and you're there to do business. But part of doing business, especially in this industry, is like you've got to get out and experience life and meet people because that's what gives color to the whole creative journey, right? And so, like going to these conferences, like. Even one of my favorite parts is after the conference wraps for the day, it's going out to the showcases or even just exploring at night, sometimes going to some things off the beaten path too, and just meeting people and understanding the temperature and the pulse of what that environment's like.
Yeah.
New Orleans, I felt was great for that back in October. Excited to be there again. Toronto, loved walking around Toronto, just going to the different showcases associated with the conference, but then like just kind of finding these other venues, around town, just kind of poking in and seeing what's going on. That's what really, I think, gives this richness to the experience, because you go to the conference to learn and to network and in some cases to teach, but then it's like, okay, what else can I find that's going to help me really understand where I am and who I'm working with and meeting. So you gotta just go for it, all gas, no brakes, and you sleep when you get home.
Oh yeah, we'll sleep when we're dead.
So this was great. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
always a
so
pleasure.
much.
Yeah, we'll do it again. Hopefully, sooner in another 3 years.
Yeah, for real. Well, hopefully now it's looking like we're going to be in Nashville a lot more. So
Yeah.
Well,
come by anytime, and we're always doing events right over there. So
Love it. Oh yeah, we'll have to check one out for sure.
Yeah, or play on one.
Yeah, dude, we'll be down.
Let's get it done.
Yeah.
Let's get it done.
that'd be great.
In the meantime, let them know where they can learn more about you online.
Yeah, so you guys can follow me online. It's Bronnie Music, so BRONNIE Music. If you guys wanted to listen to my music on Spotify, Apple Music, maybe Deezer. Does anyone use Deezer these days? I don't know. It's Bronnie. There we go.
I don't even know if I forgot about Deezer.
I know. Deezer.
So I am on all social media at I am Mason Levi, Levi. You can listen to my music if you type Mason Levi. If you want to check out my old pop punk band we were talking about, that's A Summer High. That's on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, everywhere. So, yeah, thanks for having us on.
Yeah.
Man.
Thanks for coming back. Can't wait for round 3.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. This has been the Quinn Spinn, 2 N's and Quinn, 2 N's and Spin. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and more. Also on Instagram at Quinn Spinn Official. Again, 2 N's in both Quinn and Spin. You can also learn more about us at Underground Music Collective. UMCWorldwide.com is our central hub for all things independent music, creativity, community, and more. And speaking of community, join our UnderDogs community. Our push for the first 100 members continues. We have some amazing creatives joining, including some of the folks that you're going to see this Wednesday here on the YouTube channel, if that's where you're watching. For our next installment of Have You Met, we have E.T., who is a Nashville hip-hop legend. We have Brittany Beach of Frozen Moments Photography, and Sad Girl, who's an up-and-coming artist here as well. All new underdogs, and you can join them when you go to community.umcnashville.com. Yes, I still need to change that subdomain to the current actual domain. I'm busy. There's a lot going on. I'll get there. But for now, go there. And UMC Worldwide on the socials as well. Find me at Gerard Longo 12 if you want pretty much updates on all those things and the occasional just fitness thirst trap. I'm into that now. And maybe I'm going to start performing again soon too. So not to tease anything, but I'm teasing it. Rebel 9's all I've become. I'm going to take us out while I get brought us in. Grab some muffins on your way out.